In June 2025, plainclothes inspectors and armed police burst through the glass doors of a high-end corporate office in Abuja, Nigeria. The Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission, or FCCPC, was executing a sudden, targeted raid. The target was TLScontact. They are the official proxy company authorized to process European visa applications. The police action was triggered by a flood of consumer complaints. Applicants reported massive, unexplained processing delays, forced payments for premium services, and people's actual passports being held hostage without justification. What happened in Abuja is a localized flashpoint for a global system. Access to sovereign European borders is now physically controlled by private corporations, operating with near-zero public oversight. Issuing a visa is a core sovereign power.
For decades, if you needed to travel to Europe, you submitted your paperwork directly to a government consulate to get an official Schengen visa sticker or entry stamp. That process has been entirely outsourced. A private duopoly consisting of TLScontact and VFS Global now dictates who can even get in the door to submit those applications. This system applies almost exclusively to millions of third-country nationals in the global south. These are people trying to attend family weddings, secure business deals, or reach critical medical care. European governments handed over the logistical paperwork to these companies. In doing so, they constructed a billion-dollar digital paywall that extracts massive profits from people who have no other choice but to pay. Applicants log on to find crashing websites and endless loading screens. Companies like TLScontact frequently cite vague IT incidents, and finding a standard, regular-priced appointment slot is virtually impossible. The IT infrastructure is severely underfunded, lacking even the most basic protections. This allows third-party black market botnets to easily scrape and hoard all the available free slots the second they appear. This creates a severe bottleneck, with real human consequences. Families cancel their wedding plans, business contracts collapse from missed meetings, and medical treatments are delayed indefinitely. A global tech company could fix a broken booking portal if it wanted to. The perpetual failure serves a specific function. It introduces designed friction, boxing applicants into a corner so they have to look for alternative, more expensive options within the company's own ecosystem. The companies offer a built-in escape route from the scarcity they created. They sell prime time, super priority, and premium lounge appointment slots at steep markups. In the UK, applicants report being forced to pay a £33 service charge just to keep their seat. In Turkey, users face 2,600 lira in mandatory additional services just to hand in their documents. Academic researchers and regulatory bodies have tracked this exact pattern. Studies of the system show that relying on external service providers like TLScontact directly correlates with severe issuance delays and restricted mobility for travelers. When the free, standard appointment slots are mathematically impossible to secure, the premium upgrades cease to be optional. They function as a mandatory ransom extracted from people facing strict travel deadlines. The money collected at these local application centers across Africa and the Middle East doesn't stay there. It is immediately funneled upward into European tax havens. Take TLScontact in Tunisia. Accounting records show the local subsidiary held over €3 million by late 2021. Yet on paper, it owed millions to its parent company, TLS Group SA, based in Luxembourg. This flowchart shows how cash is extracted. Luxembourg bills the Tunisian branch for software licensing and charges 5% interest on artificial debt. Funds flow upward as deductible expenses, even while actual applicants are locked out by crashing, non-functional booking portals. The entire outsourced visa apparatus operates as a highly efficient financial pump. It systematically extracts capital from citizens in developing nations and deposits it directly into European corporate accounts. The private monopolies are executing a business model, but they operate with the explicit permission of European ministries of foreign affairs. The governments are the ultimate enablers. The European Union has a strict legal framework called the Visa Code, which governs how these applications are handled. Article 17 of that code specifically dictates that any external service fee cannot exceed half the cost of the actual visa. Furthermore, Article 43 of the Visa Code legally guarantees that all applicants must maintain the right to lodge their applications directly at the consulate, bypassing the external service provider entirely. European consulates routinely ignore their own laws,
They have shut off direct access to their diplomatic missions, forcing every applicant through a private, uncapped toll booth just to submit a piece of paper. Governments do this because outsourcing allows them to remove administrative costs from the state ledger. Private companies act as a shield, absorbing public anger over delays and rejections that would otherwise target the state. The exact financial relationship between the states and the providers remains hidden. The service-level agreements, the official contracts that dictate these terms, are heavily redacted, concealing whether governments receive kickbacks or a cut of those mandatory premium fees. Visiting a dying relative, marrying a partner, or pursuing an education has been financialized. A basic function of international diplomacy is now a pay-to-play subscription model. If state authorities continue to look the other way, the message is clear. Access across international borders is no longer determined by diplomatic agreements or human rights, but entirely by corporate profit margins.